Welcome to Brain Vision.
Let's talk about positive and negative externalities. As we know, externalities are effects that affect the third party that's not involved in the transaction or use of the product. So let's look at A. You are a bird watcher, and your neighbor has put up a birdhouse in the yard. Well, here the action is that your neighbor has put up a birdhouse in the yard. Okay, you being the third party here, there is a positive externality, right? You are happier because your neighbor has put up this birdhouse in his yard, and he didn't do it for you; he did it for himself. And again, the more birdhouses he puts, the more birds, the more happier you are because you like to watch these birds. B. Your next door neighbor paints his house a horrible color. Well, that causes a negative externality, right? Because this might decrease property value. You have to look at the house every day, and this is not a pleasant feeling. So it's causing a negative externality to you. And again, you being the third party, because your next door neighbor painting his house, that's kind of the action. You were not part of that interaction. C. Investments in private education. Now, this has a huge positive externality. The more educated society is, the better it is for everyone else, even though those people did not receive education themselves or private education themselves. It raises the standard of living for everyone. And again, the people who received the private education were not part of the interaction between the students who did get this private education and the place in which they received this education. D. Trash from a factory flows downstream right past your home. The action being that the company dumps its trash into the river, right? You are a third party. You were not part of the creation of that trash or its disposal. You are just a bystander. This is a negative externality. You're not happy that this trash is flowing down your home. So just for that reason, it is a negative externality. E, your wife is a smoker, but you're a non-smoker. Again, the action here is between your wife and the cigarette company that she purchases cigarettes, and now the action is that she's smoking, but you're not a smoker. You're a third party in this. You could be not pleasant, and that's kind of tricky. If you're a non-smoker, but if you care about the smoke, if you think this is something you don't like, then it is a negative externality. The negative externality would be 0 if you just don't care, if it doesn't affect you at all. But if it makes you less happy, then it is a negative externality.